At the beginning of the film, we meet Susan Stevenson. She travels to a city with her brother, Arthur, searching for her scientist husband, Henry Stevenson. An officer informs Susan that Henry is missing in the jungle. There's a dangerous area called Rocky Mountain where people go in but never return. Rescue attempts for Henry have already been made. Determined, Susan pleads to enter the jungle herself to find Henry. The officers deny her request but provide the address of a former resident, Edward, who lived in the same jungle. Susan and Arthur meet Edward. He reveals he was a close friend of Henry's. Edward believes Henry might have ventured into the treacherous Rocky Mountain region, escape from which is considered impossible. Edward tells them that during his time in the jungle, he was captured by some people but managed to escape. Susan begs him to join her search for Henry. After some hesitation, Edward agrees and offers a map to help them navigate. Susan trusts Edward and wants his experienced servant to accompany them. Edward convinces her it's best to go alone. They reach the area by helicopter. Edward instructs the pilot to keep their location on Marabot Island a secret. Susan, Arthur, and their guides take a break after walking for a while. The guides cook and eat a wild animal they hunted. Suddenly, a helicopter flies overhead. The fire the guides lit must have attracted attention. Arthur gets angry and blames the young guide for bringing trouble by angering the locals. Some of the guides get scared and flee. They continue their journey with the remaining guides. Along the way, a servant from another household finds and wears an abandoned coat. Knives are also discovered, confirming Susan's suspicion of something happening. Tragedy strikes as they cross a river. A crocodile attacks and kills one person. While trying to help, another gets caught and dies. A figure in the shadows watches these events unfold, possibly killing the second victim too. This figure then approaches Susan with murderous intent, but a gunshot rings out. An American man named Manolo appears, having shot the attacker who escapes. Manolo offers to take them to his nearby village. Upon reaching the village, Edward recognizes another American, a father who seems happy to see them. It turns out this man, whom they call Edward, stayed with them before. Manolo warns Edward that the attacker might be one of those above type of people, possibly implying someone who preys on others. They set up camp for the night. But the killer mean poke a tribe man spying on them. After that, a beautiful village girl tries to flirt with Arthur when they're alone. Suddenly, the killer reappears and attacks Arthur. Tragically, the girl gets caught in the struggle and dies. Edward chases after the attacker. Shockingly, he discovers the killer is none other than his own servant. The village father is enraged by the deaths and blames Edward for bringing danger to their people. He throws them out of the village. Susan agrees with the decision, and they leave. They attempt to build a boat, but it sinks due to overloading. Struggling to survive, they climb a mountain. Arthur, still angry with Edward, refuses to help him, resulting in Edward's fall and death. Reaching the mountaintop, Susan and the others discover a chilling graveyard. They eventually find Admit. Surprisingly, Susan reveals she knew her husband was blind and lazy. She also suspected the mountain held valuable resources like diamonds or uranium. They encounter someone needing help climbing, but without assistance, the person falls to their death. Arthur tries to force Manolo to join them, but Manolo refuses. A fight ensues, and Arthur gets killed by the Poco tribe, who takes Susan and the others prisoner. When they reach to their cave, one of the old man, probably their leader, shows her husband's photo with Susan, and takes her to the dead body of her husband, whom they considered an animal god, and then they turn Susan to another goddess bird but at night. An addicted man comes and tried to exploit her. Susan screams, due to which all the other cannibals are found and catch him. There they cut the main part. Doing that, they offer to kill the man with Susan's own hand, but unfortunately she stabbed their leader and push him to death. And that night one of them shows up to the Manolo and starts torturing him. Because of that, he kicked the man and he death by hitting head to the rock. Then Manolo takes her knife and freed Susan also and starts running away. When the cannibals tries to stop them, it kills them, and then while crossing the river, she meets people of opposite type and kills them. After this, they eventually manage to escape the island using a piece of floating wood. That's the end of the film. Hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video for amazing recaps. Also, thanks for watching.